Oh, look, cranberries.
Your frozen cranberries and Prosecco.
If you want to put it on your news feed or in your story.
Don't these look festive?
So pretty and festive.
Plus they're like half the alcohol.
Everybody else says this camera's out. I have to get mine out.
Perfect.
Grace, help me decorate.
Flop.
Thank
you.
Wait. And Grace found these.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to friendship.
Friendship.
Best night of the year.
Yes, it is.
Do you do that little thing underwater, or do you do the beating of
I
the?
just hit it.
Beat it.
I just hit it.
I have to look up.
This water glass.
Okay. That's good.
See, these are smaller pieces.
Beautiful.
He said, are you a stay-at-home mama or work mama? And I was so shocked.
So inappropriate.
And
I
was
know.
like, why do you want to work here? Because I said it's a good paying job and I want to make money. You know, it's like, why do you want to like transfer?
Really?
Like I was transferring and then I would just like quit.
Because we
I
were
don't
both in
re-
SSI when we started.
And I was so shocked when they asked that. I'm like, can you really ask that?
I don't remember
telling
anybody
Phil,
ever
I think
asking me that.
That was a big no-no when it was.
But I knew if I
You just say
didn't answer, that they wouldn't transfer me.
Well, November '79, so I was engaged to Phil. That's how long ago that was. A lot of pictures of Patricia and Dennis
I
at
know
my
when
wedding.
when
I
SSI
took a
first
picture.
came, that's
my
when
God,
I about had my breakdown. was when we took on SSI in '74.
1974.
Because it was too much.
Too much.
To add on to
I
what
can't
you were
even
already
tell you.
doing?
I was at that time I was a DRT, and I had cases up from my chair, bought from the floor to the chair, 2 piles of them to do one-time payments, but nobody knew how to do them. They were our responsibility. We didn't know. We didn't know how to do them. Nobody knew.
Lord have mercy.
Such a
weird name.
And so Julie worked she was a claims rep. I was probably a CDC at that time. And she and Sherman were they were trying to put their marriage back together. She showed me this card and then went to Florida. But then one of the things, she had two children, Jill and Jason, I think, and she would lock them in her house, in the room in the morning, and put a lock. The lock was on the outside so she could get ready for work. And so when she was the first one, we were allowed to wear pantsuits, which polyester pants and jacket matching, you could wear that. But
What year was that?
73.
It was early.
And then when Julie, she decided that she was going to change the dress code, and she wore these little wool camo pants that turned up on the edges.
Camo.
Camel
With
pants.
cuffs.
Camo.
Not
Yes.
cuffs.
Not camo.
Camel
That's
with
really
cuffs.
stretching it.
And then she
Yeah.
wore this silk blouse, so she would tell you, well, they can't tell me that I'm not going to wear this blouse that I paid $35 for. So she started
All
wearing
the stuff that happened.
not a pantsuit, but slacks and a blouse. Well, that was the change. That's when the change came out of pantsuits, when you first started being
So they
able
didn't
to-
say anything to her. They
No,
let her do it.
no, they let
What
her
year
do it.
was that?
Maybe 73. I don't think SSI had come in yet.
Okay.
So it was
What
like
year did you
73.
start?
And then she and Sherm were divorcing. And she was devastated because she had to buy her shoes at Chandler's.
Step down far.
After she got divorced, she had to
She had to buy her shoes at
she had to go
Chandler's.
slumming. Huh?
Had to go slumming.
That's
She was a character. She was a character.
I turned the air to circulate.
Feels
It's
good.
warm in here
Oh, it feels good.
after all that wine.
we did.
You did? Popular business, but do you remember I divided all the skips and stuff, and two of the boys didn't want any of it, and I thought I had to make myself pry out of my hands those old antique ornaments. I divided them up because it was the fair thing to do. Tell them to.
To me, I'm thinking if they don't want them,
Bring them back to me. Is
if
what
they
I'm gonna
don't
say.
want
Give them
them,
back to me.
because
But I
because
divided them up?
we practically, like you did, we practically forced my older brother to take the Lionel train because, I mean, it was a nice, big, heavy
Oh
Lionel
yeah,
train
it was a
set.
fortune now.
And
What did
we
he do
had-
with it?
he didn't want it, but we were like,
Somebody.
you know, it was yours. You were the first one to have it. You need to take it. So he was like, oh, okay. What happened to it? Who knows?
It was his and he didn't want it?
He didn't want it.
That's crazy. I had one of those when I was a
He
kid.
did not want that Lionel train. He had the little engine, had those little chalky things you put in
Yeah,
there
the
and
whole
light.
top thing, yeah.
And we
Those
had a
trains
whole
were-
train table. My dad made a train table for
I
it.
remember seeing that over at their house.
Some people are into all those
it was
sentimental
long.
things, yeah.
No,
Maybe it was at somebody else's house.
Maybe there people like that are better off. They have no sentimental attachment to
No
things. Just the
sentimental.
people are important and not the things, because I have a hard time letting go of those
And
things.
we had a toy chest about this, probably cut off here, and it was a toy chest for Tom and I, and it had Tommy and Jenny. It had our names on it. And
Who's got it?
we gave it to him. I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. Who knows what happened?
He may have passed it on to one of his kids, so you don't know. You don't get to know. He took care of it.
That's okay. You know,
And so let's talk about favorite, what do you want to talk about? Childhood memories or just traditions, Christmas traditions?
Aren't we
What are
hitting
you-
the best ones?
What are your, yes, we are. You know, I was trying to turn this way so I'm in
she's
the video for a
recording.
change.
Okay.
I was trying to think today about favorite childhood Christmas memories, and it was kind of sad.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I can't really remember any good memories. First of all, I don't have a lot of childhood memories anyway, which I think partly is because I didn't have siblings. I think siblings help you.
Oh, yeah.
You hear their stories and they hear yours, and you kind of adopt each other's stories. And then there weren't any pictures. There were very few pictures. I'm so jealous of all the cute pictures that you all have from your childhood. So, but one thing I can remember is when I was about 6 years old, we lived in the Northeast, and we came for Christmas, and we stayed at Judy's house. And
For Christmas.
yeah, and my nephews, Tom and Tim, were like, I was 6, they were probably 3 and 4,
Those are
something like
Judy's
that. These are Judy's children. They couldn't read. They got up in the middle of the night and opened all of the Christmas presents, including mine.
Oh no!
And I'm not sure if I remember that or if I remember just hearing about it.
So many times that it's-
But I feel like I can remember the disappointment. That my heart was so hurt. I was so disappointed that all my toys, all my gifts were open. I don't remember what the gifts were. I don't remember anything else about
But
it
they opened them.
except that they opened everything.
Everything.
And then the other thing I could remember is that when I was a senior in high school, and my father died when I was 14, so it was just my mother and I, she bought me a stereo for Christmas.
That's big, yeah.
And I don't even think I asked for a stereo. So I was so shocked that she came up with such a great gift.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who helped her. Somebody had to help her buy it because it's the one that I took to college. Fran and I had in our dorm room, all those years.
High five.
And so, yeah, so I mean, that was so great. But anyway,
I
those
swear,
are the
I
only
think that's
ones.
why you believe in Santa Claus so long, because you don't believe your typewriter parents would be buying all that stuff for you. I think my dad we didn't get anything any other time of year, so I think it's fun.
And so with so many kids in your family, I mean, did you all get a lot of presents or one present or what did you
I
get?
felt like I got a lot, but in hindsight, it probably wasn't very much. But I had a specific. We came down the stairs, and there was a specific spot your Christmas things were.
Oh.
Never
So
wrapped
Santa
anything.
never wrapped. Santa
Never wrapped.
But the parents
And the
did
mom-
if you
yeah.
got anything from your parents.
Yeah, well, we didn't get anything. So that should have been. That's why I thought my dad and mom were such diehards. We never got anything from them, so it had to be Santa Claus.
We got like 1 or 2 gifts from parents, but then Santa Claus didn't wrap.
Yeah. Santa Claus did not wrap.
So do you all remember specific gifts? I
Oh,
I
yeah.
do you?
Yeah.
Sure.
So what do you remember?
What
What
do
was
I
your favorite gift?
Well, one year, I got 3 dolls. I got a baby doll that had a high chair and a baby doll in it. And I got a little Jenny doll. They were called Ginny dolls. And she came in a little box with bubbles on her. And she was a little bitty, about that tall. And then there was another doll that was like this tall. And she was like, you know, just like she would be like not a baby doll, but a second grader doll or something, but she was like this tall. And I named her Roberta after my dad, Jenny. And I was so thrilled that I could not believe that I got 3 dolls for Christmas.
And how old were you?
I was probably 7. And the funny thing is, I can remember all the Christmas, or many of the Christmases when we went to my grandmother's the night before, and when Santa Claus came to my grandparents' house. But then when I was like 14, from like 14 to 18, I don't remember any of those Christmases or any of those gifts. It was always Santa when he came to my grandparents' house.
Huh.
That's what the memories were. And I can remember all kinds of presents that Santa Claus brought.
Do you remember, Trish? Do you remember presents?
Oh, yeah.
Specific things?
One year I got Eloise in Paris book. Oh my gosh, I loved Eloise in Paris.
I don't know Eloise in
I don't
Paris.
know her either.
The 2 of us had Eloise in Paris.
Yeah.
Was she a little girl-like person?
Yeah, she went to Paris. I don't know. She was
little
kind
hat.
of wild, wasn't she, though?
That's some places we didn't get to go.
I know. And then one year I got a chemistry set and a sewing machine, but then we had a house fire New Year's Eve and it burned up.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Burned your toys and everything?
Because Mary and Gretchen were in my closet playing with candles, and in my bedroom, it was a rental house, but it was a nice big old house, and the wallpaper was real fragile. And Gretchen lit a match or something, burned her hand, she threw it out and caught it on fire. So all my Christmas presents burned.
Oh.
And my parents didn't have insurance, rental
Oh
insurance.
gosh.
And-
That's so sad.
And then-
Story about people losing their
So
Christmas
we had to move back. My parents had a house that they owned, and my grandmother was living there, and she was doing very well there. But we all had to move back there because this house burned. And they didn't have insurance. Churches gave us clothes and blankets. But my dad somehow managed to come up with a little money to buy me a little radio. But all my I could see my chemistry set going up in flames.
How old were you?
Gosh, Patricia.
I was in like 6th or 7th grade.
And that happened like right after
New Year's, yeah, it was New Year's Eve, and all my stuff burned completely.
Were you all
And then I had just taken just had a fire prevention lesson in school, so I went around and closed all the doors to the other bedrooms, which helped save those bedrooms from
Wow.
completely burning
So you
down.
were like a hero.
I was.
Heroess or whatever you call it.
You know, there
And
was
what
no-
do we try? Do you still hold that against?
No,
Gretchen,
we
for
were
burning
not.
Christmas
My
presents?
mother was never allowed. My mother told us we were never allowed to say anything to Gretchen about that. Never.
Oh.
No, I don't. I mean, she was just
So-
So, have you ever talked about it as adults?
yeah. Of course,
Reminisced
Gretchen goes,
about
"Oh, anything," you know. She was like, but I mean, she was just a kid. It was not her fault. You know, it
Yeah.
was not anything. But my grandmother went downhill after that when we moved back in with her. She was doing so good on her own, and then she got depressed.
Well, all over there.
Because then Mary, and I think Gretchen, we all had to, like, it was a small house. We all had to go back to a small house.
So the house was completely burned?
Yeah, it was
Were you
completely
home?
damaged. Yes, we were all home. Yeah,
Everybody got out.
everybody got out. But
Gosh.
my parents didn't have rental insurance. It was a really nice 2-story old house. It had 4
In
bedrooms. In Lufkin. It was really nice.
So can you remember how that felt?
Yeah, I
Do
can
you
remember
remember
smelling the smoke. I can remember, yeah, all
Were
of
you
that.
afraid
It
or?
took forever to get over that feeling where the panic, if all of a sudden people were rustling a lot. It took a while to get over that panic of that sound, because I was downstairs.
In the basement or in the
It's
down?
awful.
This happened, the fire started up in
In my bedroom.
in the upper
And we
story.
talked about this before.
No,
Yeah, I've
It's
heard
weird
it.
that we have.
I remember hearing about your chemistry
it was
set
a
burning
nice old
up.
house. It was such a nice old house, but we only lived there a couple of years when this happened.
So then y'all ran out.
Yeah, Gretchen's 7 years younger than me. So she was like 3 or 4.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, she was just.
Yeah.
And so, did you all have the queso on the stove in those days? That far back, or was that when you were
We always
older?
seemed to have. We used to go out. We'd go to midnight mass and come home and have chips and dips and queso and
Were
daiquiris.
your mom and dad Catholic?
Well, they converted later on. Well, at least my mom did. My dad raised us Catholic because apparently a priest saved him on an island that he was stranded during the war. He promised if he ever had kids, we would be raised Catholics.
Oh,
Oh
that's
my Lord! And your parents weren't Catholic?
No,
You didn't know that story?
My mother converted later on, but Sally's parents were, and so we'd go to church with them a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were all raised Catholic. We went to Catholic school.
Well, I knew that.
because a Catholic
I thought
saved
you're-
your father.
A priest saved my father.
Priest saved
He
your
was
father.
stranded on the island, and I don't know whether it was Philippines or whatever, and he wouldn't eat because he thought they were cannibals, but it was actually monkeys that they were serving him.
Oh,
And that a priest helped save him, I guess, and get him off the island. So he promised this priest that
He
he'd
would
raise
raise
us
his-
all Catholics.
were you all born then, or he hadn't
No,
had children? He hadn't even had children.
no,
That was World War II.
that was World War
So
II.
he
Uh-huh.
didn't have children yet.
No,
Patricia wasn't born before 45.
That's
no,
funny.
yeah, because he did go to Korea, but
He did.
he got drafted into Korea.
Did he live in Korea? Did he ever go to Korea?
Yeah,
Did
but
he?
on a boat, on Navy, he was in Navy.
Wait a minute. He served in World War II and got drafted again for Korea?
Because he joined when he was 16 and lied about his age.
Oh my God.
And then he got drafted into Korea, but that was only 5 years later. So
Yeah, it
he
was
was.
close.
I mean, so a lot of people probably served in World War
Al's
II and
dad
got
served in
drafted.
both of them.
He hated McCarthy. He hated that war.
McCarthy had some other issues too.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
he hated McCarthy
Yeah.
too for all the issues. Yeah, but he was a frogman in World War II. He was a
You know,
radio
you should
man.
write it down. You know, we got part of Mom and Dad's stories written down.
Gretchen's
Precious got it.
Yeah.
Precious got it.
All the stuff that he told you all. That's interesting.
Well, but he told Michael more than he told me. And Michael didn't write it all down. You know, it's more likely to tell Michael the stories. So,
It's cool.
So, did you all have any special foods like the queso on the stove?
we had fajitas too.
Oh,
Fajitas.
see, I wish I was in your
Christmas
family.
Eve was fajitas.
Oh,
Yummy.
Yeah. I mean, but
don't you have fajitas?
we had ham for Christmas, ham and potatoes and everything. Christmas Eve was fajitas, and then after
We
midnight
were always
mass,
together, but no special.
after
foods
midnight
and-
mass is
Yeah.
chips and dips and daiquiris and.
See, I don't remember having any special. I don't remember going to church even. My mother was a devout Christian, but I have no memories of going to church at Christmas.
Dad even went with us sometimes. Dad was never Catholic. At Christmas and Easter sometimes
He would go.
Yeah. But we always went to church.
And you remember going, Jenny?
Well, we had a whole
Christmas?
different situation because most of my life until I was a teenager, we would leave on Christmas Eve as soon as Dad got off from work, and we would go to my grandparents' house and spend the night there
Mm-hmm.
and have Christmas morning with Santa at my grandparents' house. So all I remember getting there, because we get there so late, was M&M cookies. She always had M&M cookies.
Oh.
But
I have your recipe for it.
Right.
Laura makes them all the time. She's the one that makes
that's
them.
what Mom made. But my mother, she never did like going to my grandparents' house. This was my paternal grandparents' house. She never did like it. All she ever wanted was to stay at home at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
But in the children's eyes, we loved going there. And so it was, as we talked later with my mom, as much as she hated it, it was our best memories.
Hmm.
So, and special food, just M&M cookies.
Now, where were her parents?
She had, her dad died when she was 16, so she just had one mother, and she lived in the same town that we did, and we would have Christmas at her house on the 23rd.
Oh.
And then she just understood, you know, that we would go. She knew how my dad was. We would go to his parents on Christmas Eve, and then she would have my mother's brother and their children on Christmas at her house. But even though my mother and her brother were close, as cousins, we never really had Christmas or any holidays.
You weren't there
with them,
together.
even though we lived in the same vicinity. We never had it together.
56,
Crazy,
43,
but-
I don't know what
But I love going to my grandmother's house.
We went to High Hat a lot for Christmas.
Did you really?
You did what?
Went to High Hat.
So when did you
Oh,
leave
you go
for
to
High
Hi
Hat?
Hat for Christmas?
Was it
Yeah, a lot of
Christmas
High Hat
Eve?
Christmas, I don't know, a couple days before.
How
Oh,
long
and-
did it take you to get there?
About 4.5 hours.
And what was that like? I mean, was that
I wish I
like
could
decidedly
keep- I wish I
Eastern
could keep
Kentucky?
High Hat in a bucket. I wish I'd had a little bubble right over the whole
Yeah.
thing. We could kept it.
So what was it
Grandma
like at
cooked and
Christmas?
cooked. Of course, she cooked every time we came. Cooked and cooked, and then we would all sit down. Eastern Kentucky is a whole different thing. And we would get up even on Christmas Day, and neighbors would come in and sit, and she'd feed the neighbors too. It was wild.
And what would she cook? What things
She
she
would
remembered?
start those homemade yeast rolls way before we got out of bed. You could smell them.
Yummy.
She'd put them down, and she had that old cast iron, a whole oven set up. You know, that woman could cook 3 kinds of beans and 3 kinds of meats, 3 kinds of, you know.
And she did all the
was
cooking.
She did every bit of that cooking.
And what size group was there? Did your dad have a lot of siblings?
Yeah, but they weren't all close. But you know, when my family came, there were
There were a lot of
there were
people.
7 more people. So, yeah, my aunt and uncle would come. I have an aunt that lived in Florida, and sometimes when her kids came up, that we were close to that.
Did she have a tree?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah. High Hat's a whole different story. We could go on and on
Do you have
forever about
pictures
stories
of
about
that?
High Hat. So, yeah.
So
And
did
I
you go
slept
there
with
and
my
stay all
grandmother.
night, or did you just go down for the day?
No, we would have to stay. We'd stay days. You know, she was in the hills. You know,
So you'd stay days.
Oh yeah, and my grandfather had strokes, so they slept in these 2 big bedroom, and they had these 2 beds on each side. And because there weren't enough beds for everybody in our family, so we would take turns sleeping with my grandmother. And my grandfather was always sick, and he was in that room. And I think, you know, I never remember my grandfather where he could talk because he'd had so many strokes. But
So you'd sleep with grandma?
sleep with grandma. She was sweet. She'd throw that apron up, throw her arms up, and we'd come in the yard. It's great. Yep. She was a sweet old country grandma. Hills of Eastern Kentucky were very strange, okay? Again, cheers! Fab, girl, fab. Thank you.
Cheers.
I lost one of my glasses. I need to get another one. I broke it, but I can't find these. I mean, they're out there.
Vintage.